Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mind to Marie. Today, I am really excited because we're joined by a multi-talented artist whose career spans music, radio, and television. Laye, also known as Norman Wakefield, is an accomplished R&B recording artist, radio host at Power 104.9 WSTV, and has also appeared on reality TV shows including Queen's Court Season 2 on BET, VH1, TV1, Peacock, and Bravo. Al has been making waves in the entertainment world with his music and media presence, blending soulful R&B melodies with a deep understanding of the industry. And Al, I just want to say it's a major pleasure to have you here. So welcome to the show today.
I appreciate that. It's good to be here.
So you've obviously had an impressive journey in music. How did you first get started as an R&B artist and what drew you to the genre?
Well, so R&B, I've had a love for R&B as a kid. I started out in elementary school. I sang "I Believe I Can Fly" in elementary school, and it's like everybody was blown away. Then I had a disconnect from music for a while due to sports. I was playing football, but I've always wrote music and still had a love for it. So it just came full circle. It came back around, and I feel like now is the time for me to do it because of the things that's going on in the world right now. So I'm just following the path that I feel like was set for me right now.
That's what we got to do. So, what were some of the pivotal moments in your music career that helped define who you have become as an artist today?
I believe my daughters, I feel like when I had little girls, it made me understand females a lot more and what women are basically crying out for because it's definitely a cry out for help. And I feel like there's no one really talking to the ladies like they feel they deserve to be talked to. My music is based on bringing your husband back home, you know what I'm saying? And making sure that us fellas are valuing women a lot more so they can feel appreciated in this world. So I think my relationships and my daughters really set the tone for it because I don't want my children to be affected by the way the world is today. I think it's terrible, and anybody who doesn't is not paying attention. And so that's really what shapes it though for me.
That's coming from a father's heart. That's beautiful. And I totally agree. Definitely needed right now. So, being an independent artist comes with its challenges, obviously. How have you navigated the changes in the music industry, especially with streaming and social media shaping new pathways for artists?
The industry is the industry. I've been in the entertainment world for what, over 20 years, and I feel like in every different area of the industry is so similar. It's like confusion is it's like people are putting a crutch on the industry right now, and it's bad because it's not like the hustle and bustle like it used to be. It's almost making it simple but more complex because it's creating a lot of volume. It's more people now feeling like they can do it because it's made so easy now, so oversaturated. And I just don't. I've always been a firm believer in a person having the opportunity because you are a human being just like the next person, but it's about being honest with yourself, and everybody's not going to make it. But I feel like the world doesn't see it that way. For some reason, I feel like everybody feels like they can be an artist, and you can, but everybody's not going to succeed at it. It's such a difficult thing to put your finger on. But for me, I just stay true to me and really focus on who I am as a person and what direction I'm going in. Because what I've noticed, a lot of artists don't have a direction. But they're just throwing music out here, there, and like I said, it waters down everything. You don't put enough emphasis on each individual project that you're working on, and that's what's killing the industry right now.
Kind of just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Right, exactly. Versus actually putting your all into something and not just making songs just to make a song, but making sure that it's some form of a hit. Some people make songs just to fill an album, but I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think we should make everything try to make a hit out of everything. Even though it's not gonna be a hit to everybody, it's a hit for somebody. But just to throw a song on it because you had studio time and it's killing everything. Because now it's kinda like if you were at a casting for a modeling gig and they say that I need the person to be 5'7", but you in the line with a whole bunch of people that's 4'8". All they're doing is prolonging you to get to your position because you have to now go around, over, and through these people that know they shouldn't be here right now. It's kinda like take your time, perfect your craft, and move to the side and let the people who have been perfecting their craft step in front of you. It's not a bad thing to step to the side when you're in this industry because it allows you to really prepare yourself for the next level versus forcing it, watering it down for the artists who actually pour into it.
So when it's your time, it's your time.
Absolutely. It just
Well,
makes it hard, that's all.
so you're also a radio host at Power 104.9 WSTV. How did you get into radio and what has the experience taught you about connecting with audiences?
So radio is Power 1049, WSTV, and 100.9 The Blaze. Though the radio thing came from my manager, boss lady Ace, and she seen it in me. She's like, "Man, you have what it takes. You just got to go out there and do it." And for me, it was not something that I never thought that I would do, but 'cause I'm really not a people person. I try to be, but it's not like to where I could be every day doing it, but I thought I wasn't. She thought I was a people person, so it just brought another side out of me, and honestly, I love music. I mean, the radio personality industry right now. Like it's beautiful because it allows me to see the other side of what I'm doing career wise. You get what I'm saying? Very seldom you see people seeing both sides. It helps you really navigate through the industry and understand the industry more versus just being on the one side and being blinded by the other side. So, and then two, you get to meet a lot of cool people, man. I love it. I think it's fun. It brings out a lot of my personality, which is a great thing. Stuff that I didn't even know I had in me. But thinking that I wasn't a people person really, kind of killed that a long time ago. But now that I know that I am kind of a people person, it works. I just take it in stride.
That's relatable. I had somebody tell me before I started this podcast that I should start this podcast because I had interesting things to say, and I'm like, "I don't really like people. I don't think nobody wants to hear what I have to say," and they're like, "No, try it," and you're so right. I've met so many cool people, and you're just another one, so it's true, like, you get to experience things from a totally different viewpoint, and it's very shocking how much you can feel more confident and engaging with people because it feels like they're actually enriching conversations.
Right. Absolutely.
So how does hosting a radio show compare to performing as an R&B artist, and do you approach those roles differently?
Uh, I would have to say it has some similarities, but it's a whole different beast because on the radio we get to press pause and we're not physically being seen. It makes it makes it's similar. Like I said, it's similar, but it makes it a little different when you try to compare it for like 100% because the visuals aren't there. Even when you're recording, you might be on live or something like that, but it's something different about being on a stage and in front of hundreds and thousands of people.
Different
But
and
there's no reset. You feel me? There's no pause. There's no break. There's just go out there and get it, and the crowd can clap or not. You know what I'm saying? It's a struggle. I really could never. I would never honestly compare the two. Honestly, it's two totally different things. But you can't think of those things when you're like on stage and stuff. You go up there and if you're bombing, you still have to finish the show. You get what I'm saying? So there's no walking off, and so it takes a certain level of confidence that you have to have and whatnot to be on a stage in itself. It's difficult, honestly, but it's either in you or not, you know? You gotta be a performer and an entertainer at the same time. Because even if your music is bombing, you have to do something to steal the show. L's in this game, like, you even if you're taking a L, you have to figure out how to turn it into a win. So that's just what I stick to when I get on stage and do what I do.
Yep. So you've been involved in reality TV and acting, and I think you just kind of led into that a little bit. How do those experience intersect with your music and radio career?
So as far as the acting side of things, you know, I'm under that as Norman Wakefield, you know, and I've been doing that for 20 plus years. The problem with that, again, like I said with music, is acting is different because you're pretending to be someone else. You know, LA is pretending to be Norman. You get what I'm saying? Laye is Norman. Norman has to be somebody else. You get what I'm saying? So it's really a difficult thing. I absolutely love acting, but I love myself a little bit more. So that's why I gravitate more towards the music because I get to be me for the first time in over 20 years. You show people me and my personality and who I am as a person. So again, like I wouldn't even compare the two. That's why I use two different names. People people call me the man of many names. I'll make up a name in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I have to keep reinventing things because it's so many different things, and I know I have to be so many different people. You know, Norman, like I said, he has a certain level of respect, and Ale has another certain level of respect. But again, Ale is being Norman. Norman is being somebody else.
So it's being able to be in that more authentic yourself that you enjoy most, and I can see why. Acting is fun, but being able to just be genuinely yourself and not have to stick to the role is, liberating, and that's awesome. So you've been interviewed on various platforms yourself. How does being a guest differ from being the one guiding the conversation on radio or in a music interview?
It's being a personality, you know what I'm saying, allows you to really navigate through anything. Honestly, you know, the pressure is on us because we have to bring things out of people, you know, even if they don't feel like they have it in them. So doing that has helped me practice on being in interviews myself. Like I can now bring it out of myself. I don't really need to go by a certain script verbatim. Like I just let it flow. And I noticed that in interviews it just works out better that way. Just being natural, be yourself. And like I said, there's no right or wrong answers to anything. It's just how you feel. And if you're allowing yourself to let it out, it's going to flow no matter what.
I agree with that. So, switching gears a little bit, who are some of your musical or artistic influences, and how have they shaped your style and perspective as an R&B artist?
I would have to say Keith Sweat is my all-time fave, I would have to say, but your R. Kelly's, your Genuines, before the current Genuine, I don't know what he's got going on now. Yeah, the Luthers, everybody that's spoken love and sex and sexy and all of that type of stuff because that's something that's necessary right now in relationships. For me, that's how I've molded my music and whatnot because I'm trying to build something that has all of those people within it. It's not enough to just have one thing. You can't just have all R. Kelly because R. Kelly has one style of music. If you put R. Kelly and Keep Sweat together, it might confuse the heck out of somebody because they're like, "Oh my God," you know what I'm saying? Like this man don't only love me, he know how to lay it down too. So it just makes sense. So for me, that's what I've done. I'm gonna continue to do that because I feel like everybody's not gonna love your music, but if you have enough stuff on your album or whatever or your catalog in general, you can steal somebody in some song, and one song might not be this song, but it might be that song. You know what I'm saying? So it just helps.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I definitely see the Keith Sweat, Luther Vandross, and Casey and JoJo influences. That was something I definitely picked up, and I thought that was awesome, so comes through. How do you balance creating music that is authentic to you while also appealing to a wide audience?
I'd say I really, because it's my first album, I'm really catering to me and not really focused on how like pleasing the people. I'm pleasing myself right now because that first album is like that's like your baby. You know what I mean? That's like the one that you hold on to. I'm not really doing no features or anything on this album. I'm trying to make this album all about me because I've never made anything all about me, and this is my coming out period for all of the R&B stuff. So I just think that I should be selfish in this and make it about me and whatnot because my mindset is based on the world as a whole and not just my individual situations. In my music, I'm not speaking for myself, but I'm speaking my feelings about the world and what we're going through right now and what we lack, what we need. Men, women, I'm not pointing fingers at nobody. I think it's both faults, and I think that's gonna steal the hearts of people, and it's been doing a great job of it. Honestly, I'm pretty shocked. I didn't think that it was gonna work this fast, but it's working. If I start trying to please people, it's too many people in this world. You get what I'm saying? You can lose yourself in pleasing, and I don't want to do that. When it comes to me getting signed and all of that stuff, I know that they're gonna take control over a lot of things, and I'm just gonna be willing to do that when that time comes. But right now, it's like, why force it? Why rush it? Because it's gonna come once other people are have their hands in your forward progress. So I'll just enjoy this moment.
Working towards the end goal, slowly but surely.
Right.
So, from your perspective, what challenges do you see for emerging R&B artists and media personalities today?
R&B, as far as the R&B, I would say it's a struggle right now because this is still kind of the rap era, the ratchet era, I guess that's what they wanna call it. I don't know, the twerking and the BBLs and all of the nonsense that's going on in the world. So I feel like right now it's gonna be a challenge for us to really come out because of the lack of platforms that's looking for us. You get what I'm saying? It's changing slowly but surely, but it's gonna take more of us to stay consistent and keep pushing out more and more music that people can vibe to and dance to and love to one another, make love to one another on. It's just a lot of things. As far as the radio personality, that industry is iffy because radio is the big thing still, but it's not the big thing no more. You get what I'm saying? You got podcasts and online stuff going on that waters it down a little bit. So it's really difficult to be in mute and I mean on the radio right now with people listening to internet radio a lot. And I'm on FM radio, so that's it's like you really got to turn on the radio to hear it. You get what I mean? And people are just not doing it like they used to, but it's not dead. And I think that we should have a comeback soon enough because we can't just rely all totally on the internet. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I think that that's what's watering down the industry. Back when we used to have to buy CDs and all of that type of stuff, there was more value in buying CD, like having selling a CD versus putting your song on the internet and letting the internet do what it does, and you basically get pennies on the dollar, which sucks for the artist. So we're really trying to go back to that era through and through, but that's gonna take radio. But with that, that's gonna allow radio to be more, in like in tune, and then too with the acting and stuff like that. It's just all you know, because this industry is different. I'm telling you, especially the reality TV. Oh my God, you get up there and you'll never know what's gonna happen. They feed you liquor and pull out stories you don't know they're gonna pull out, and again, there's no reset. It's just what comes out is gonna go on this television, regardless. It could be bloopers, whatever. It's not a blooper to reality TV, it's gonna be seen, which is the scary part. And I don't recommend it for people who don't have thick skin because through my experiences, it's pretty hard, being being in the spotlight with when it comes to that because people don't know the whole story. You get what I'm saying? They only know what they see or what was shown to them, which is really not fair, but you really can't respond. You just have to let it happen and do your interviews and all of that stuff. You can defend yourself in your interviews and have your story, but the story that was painted was what the network put out. That's what's gonna be stamped in the industry, even if you do have your side to it.
Yeah. So, from your perspective, I mean, sorry, what inspires you to keep creating in lieu of all of that, both music and content for radio after all of these years and these changes?
Just like I said earlier, I think it's just the way the world is going, and I don't want my kids, my children, nobody's children to suffer and go through what we have grown people going through right now. I think adults right now are the new children. It's crazy, it's sad, honestly. You got more mature children than you have adults, and that's scary. I just hope for a change, and I'm gonna do everything that I can in my power to be a positive influence on the youth and making sure I'm giving back to the community and all of those things that matter. Because if we don't pour into the community, I mean, what are we doing all this stuff for? They're pouring into us, we have to pour into them. Because without the fans, you don't have nothing. You don't have a platform. Nobody's looking for you if your fans aren't at a certain rate, you gotta hold them high. I just keep myself grounded and make sure my fans are happy and know that I support everything, and I'm very thankful for everybody that supports me. Because you don't have to. It's really a blessing for me that these people are agreeing to even hear me out.
Yeah. So, what projects, musical, radio, or otherwise, are you currently working on that have you the most excited?
Of course, my album. So I go by Laye, Mr. Lay Your Body Down. I think my album is. I think I'm gonna call it Mr. Lay Your Body Down, the first album. So I'm super excited about that. I'm in the studio starting next month. I'll be locked in the studio for 2 months. Besides doing my performances and whatnot. So I'm really looking forward to that. Because that's where, because moving around doing shows is cool, but getting in the lab and making history, is different. It's like you get to pour you because you're filling up with this stuff as you're living life. You're just filling up with more information that you want to pour out. So the studio is where you do it at. Then I have a reality show that I'm gonna be working on as well. That's coming up in January. So that's for the Love of Stardom. So that'll be season 2 of that. Then I have tours and stuff coming up as well that in the new year that's gonna be crazy. I also have one small tour that I'm doing starting in November. I think that's more East Coast. It's an East Coast lineup, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it right now. Still auditioning, of course, for different TV shows and movies. Just did an audition the other day that I got a contact back on. So in talks with them, as long as it doesn't interfere with my touring schedule, I should be good to go with that. I don't know, just staying in motion. I also have a show, a really big show coming up on the 20. No, it's the 15th of November here in Atlanta. Then I have another one in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So I'll be out there. That's a pretty huge show with a lot of major artists on the lineup. So it's really just a pleasure, man. I'm just enjoying the movement.
Sounds like you got quite a lineup going into 2026, and that should be pretty busy and fun. So, if you could collaborate with any artist or media personality, living or past, who would it be and why?
Keith Sweat, I would love because he's known as the crybaby, but I don't think he's been crying at all. I think he's just been allowing men to understand that it's okay to have a vulnerable side. It's no crime in crying. We all cry. We're human. Just because you pretend like the tears aren't coming down don't mean that they aren't coming down. So I think that his message is deeper than just what people allow it to be. That's why he's a really underrated artist. But as far as radio personality, I'd probably say Greg Street. I think Greg Street's pretty cool. Yeah, I would definitely say Greg Street here and I think he's at V103 here in Atlanta. So yeah, that's for the radio personality.
And finally, What advice would you give to aspiring artists and radio hosts trying to build their career in today's industry?
I would honestly just say, man, don't give up. Listen, this industry is difficult. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Just because everybody's trying to do it don't mean that everybody has a space. So just be authentic, man, and never give up. Don't let people tell you no. If you really feel like this is where you need to be, you'll know. You'll feel it. And I would say just keep pushing towards that. Just stay yourself, man. Like don't try to do what other people do to get yourself to a certain level in this industry. What gets you there is authenticity. And I feel like a lot of people lack that. You have a lot of artists out here trying to sound like somebody else, but if you sound like somebody else, why do they need you? Think about it. It's like if I got a 21 Savage over here, why the heck do I need another 21 Savage on my right? It doesn't make sense. So you have to be yourself and new sounds and stop trying to duplicate someone else's growth. It just does not work like that. So yeah, that's all I would say. Just stay authentic and keep pushing, never give up.
Well, Al, thank you so much for sharing your journey and your insight with me today on the Mind of Cy Marie. It's been really inspiring to hear about your work as an R&B artist and your impact on radio, along with your experiences in media and of course, all of the TV experiences in reality TV, which I can imagine have been interesting, and I'm looking forward to see what happens with you in this next season. You were just talking about what was the name of the program again?
It's Love of Stardom that's coming out in January, but yeah, the one that's out right now on Bravo and Peacock is Queen's Court season 2 with Lisa Ray, K Michelle, and Delicious. So that's out right now.
Awesome. And so to everyone listening, you can follow Al Lay's music and connect with him via Instagram at Al Lay Music. And I'm going to link that in the show notes. So make sure you also tune into Power 104.9 WSTV to hear his radio show. And until next time, keep creating, keep dreaming, and remember the mind is the most powerful story we'll ever tell.